Wow. Okay, so I hope you weren't watching the other one. um, Welcome, Facebook. OMG. You know, it's so amazing just to get on this thing sometimes. But today we have a wonderful guest. We were trying to get him where you could actually see his face, but you cannot. But you definitely can see and hear his voice. And that is my younger brother, Richard Lewis. Say hi, Rick.
Hey, how you doing, Facebook?
We think we have a lot of wonderful questions to put to Rick today, and hopefully what we discuss will help you out there in Facebook land.
Yeah, yes. We you know, we're always excited to sit and have chats because that's our family. Our family, we love to talk. And, you know, I think our family's a little opinionated, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's all right. But we have, you know, when I sit and I talk with my brothers, I talk with my parents, you know, I always feel like they have so much wisdom in the things that they talk about. And so today we decided, you know what? Why don't we have my younger brother Richard on, and we'll have a little discussion, and he's going to chime in and give his opinions, and we'll have our opinions.
That's right.
Right. So before we go on, let's pray. You know, because we try to do that before before we go on, and a couple of times we didn't. Forgive us, Lord.
Yes,
forgive. But we're going to pray first, and then we'll go from there. So, Mom, would you like to start this prayer?
Father, thank you for the opportunity to speak to people's heart today. Thank you for your blessings in our life. And we ask that you help us to say something that would matter to someone's life out there, to get them a foot up. We ask it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So, today I think what we had talked about it last week, we had mentioned it, you know, and this was more about, I think more about men's reaction to things and how they deal with the emotions and things like that.
Yeah, because you and I, Karen.
It's about us, actually. We want to talk about it.
We talk a lot, and at one point, my husband, Dad, over there, he says, women, we just chat. We have a lot to say.
Right.
And so we talk from a woman's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And since we have a lot of young men that have been tuning into our Facebook Live, thank you guys. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, all of you that joined in. We thought we would get a man's perspective on some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And who better to ask than our very own Rick Lewis, who has accomplished a lot in his very short career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you are, Rick, you are Master Sergeant yet?
That's right.
Master Sergeant. He's in the Air Force.
Why don't you talk a little bit about yourself before we get started?
We want you to tell it all.
Starting to sound a little bit like a job interview.
It's about that.
Look, it's all on the line now. Go ahead.
We lay it right out on the line. We're going to dig deep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, right now I'm a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force.
Awesome.
I spent over 15 years in the Air Force, and this is for my job interview with my mother and my sister. But,
and you know, we try and turn him into a preacher, so we don't tell him that too much. Go ahead.
But, you know, I won't go too much in depth about just about me.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, behind the scenes, I did a lot in the music industry. I put a lot of study in, aside from that, and, you know, the psychological being of the human being, trying to figure out who we are and why we do what we do.
Right.
So, you know, using that background, I hope I can shed some light on some areas.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we are very extremely proud of my brother and just the things that he has acquired to be, and I'm sure it took a lot for him to get to where he's at, and
I think all the young kids were prophesying when they used to call him professor.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I
think
don't know if
so.
you like that though.
I don't think he liked it, but he got that anyway. And it worked out
I'm
because
so strange right now.
I think, Mom, what was the first question that if you could ask, or if we wanted to talk about men, because that was our discussion. What was that?
I think our biggest part of our discussion is we felt like men and women didn't really understand each other, and that's why we have so many differences today. We thought if we could bring perspective on the relationship between a man and a woman, and why we do what we do, as Rick said. My question was the other week, it came from something someone said about being a leader, and I thought, hey, how did I word that? Why is it that men say that they are not emotional, that women are emotional and they come from an emotional side, and men only come from a logical side? But when we women look at men, we see only irrational, emotional things that they do.
And considering you're the only man on our panel right now, no. What do you think about that, Rick? And yes, right now you can only see Rick's chest because we made it that. No, just kidding. Can't see his face.
Can't see his face, so
You only see the muscles. See the muscles? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk.
There you go.
Well, hey, I'm going to come to the aid of all men just for that. It seems like, I want to speak for all of us, but aside from our obvious physical differences, we actually had some emotional differences in the way we process things. And I think that's what you're seeing when you see the differences and you don't understand why men do what they do, and vice versa, men don't understand why women do what they do.
This is
And the
true.
reason is because we are wired completely different to process from another perspective. The same thing. We'll look at the same situation and we'll both process it completely different. And that's just like taking two different computers that process things, that are wired to process things in a certain way. They'll get the same information, but they will use their own processing operating system to process that info. So what you're seeing is we're talking about those differences right now.
Right,
And
right.
Right.
It's necessary. It's almost necessary that we don't understand each other in that regard, because that is part of the attraction, male to female, is we look for those things that keep us interested, is the unknown.
That's true, because men are obviously different, and I think as a woman you want to see the differences, but it's just like when we were talking about emotions, as they say, you're right, men process those emotions different. When a woman goes to do something, everything is, I got to talk about it, I have to say everything, and I want you to say everything too. But guys are not like that. Guys, they don't want to talk about it. They just it seems as if I don't want to talk about it. It is what it is, I mean, what's talking about it going to do?
Because, like he said, they're wired differently, which I didn't understand for years, because the only way I can process something is to talk about it, to rehearse it, to go through it, to relive it, to go through it, and then deal with it that way. And my husband, he didn't want to do it like that. But the only way I could help him was to force him to talk about it. I wanted him, and for years, I just force him to talk about it. So it would benefit us if we understood that we did process things differently. I think women don't understand that.
No.
That's why marriages break.
Yeah, I think marriages break because, or relationships with guys and girls, they break because of how we're wired. As Rick says, we are wired differently. I want to talk about everything. You did something. Look, let's have a discussion and talk about the issues. And I want to say this, and this. And then the guy is looking at you like, da, 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 da.
So what happens when a woman is trying to force you to talk, Rick? when she's trying to get to the root of the thing that is bothering you, and she tries to push you into talking about it, and maybe you, as a man, maybe doesn't want to talk about it. What happens? Tell us about that.
I think for the most part, where you get frustrated is that when you try to make a man talk about it in the way you want him to talk about it.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Do it in an emotional way when he's simply not wired that way. So it's really rudimentary. We have to understand ourselves first before we try to get someone else to respond. Because what you're really looking for, there's a saying that goes, be careful what you ask for. Because now, what if the man all of a sudden became just like a woman in processing his emotion? Now, basically what would happen is you would have two women in the same room.
I did hear a man say that the other day. He said he asked a woman to describe the perfect man, and when she got done describing, he said, "That's another woman."
Wow.
That's going to go against our basic attraction.
That's right.
That all of a sudden, now you don't have him processing. What we have to do is, men, we do the same thing. We want women to talk about things, or we want women to respond to things in the way we want them to respond. And anything less than that, then we think we're not communicating.
Right.
Right.
That's true. That's true. So how do you think this whole thing began to happen to us? I guess in the days before, it used to be the man was the hunter, the conqueror, whatever. And how did we end up in this place where we're trying to force everyone to be exactly like us?
Well, I think we stopped studying ourselves. Like, the time that we used to really try to understand ourselves. We didn't have all this technology and all these distractions.
That's
and
true.
all the fun things to do. Like,
Right.
we look at our computers, our cell phones, just the way our social media, everything that we do is designed to distract us from doing the one thing we're supposed to be doing, is trying to understand ourselves and how and I don't think we know that anymore, especially with this education system. It's basically designed to teach you how to be like everyone else.
Right.
That's
right.
true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. I think if just in relationship, our dog wants to talk too. I think in relationship, I think you can get so distracted, by, like you're saying, outside activities, that you're not focusing enough on that person. I know with relationship,
Right.
when it comes to marriages, I think if men took more time, and I'm saying this, I think as a woman, if a man took more time to focus on just you and make you the queen that you deserve to be, because I'm a princess and I need to be treated like that. No. And instead of, I don't even know how to say it, but I think that there's just not enough focus on that person.
I think we come to the conclusion that it's not okay to be that different from one another.
Yeah.
We're trying to all blend and be the same, and we don't appreciate the difference between a man and a woman.
Right.
It's really hard to appreciate that, because we end up in a relationship with a person and we come out lacking, and we think if we can make them respond the way we want them to respond, then we'll have that satisfaction.
Right.
And we're not getting that, so we're out there trying to figure out something. Oh, someone said they can't see Rick's face. We do apologize for that. We have some technical difficulties that we got to work out. Maybe the next time we'll be able to see his face.
But in the meantime, just enjoy the muscles.
Can you see the
Flex, yeah, there you go. Flex, Rick. Because you can see the body part, we just can't see his head.
So yeah, I think if we had a better understanding, change the philosophy that we have today, that relationships would be a lot stronger. And it would affect every part of our life too.
Yeah, because I know with women, I think women are so. I was watching something and they were talking about how women, their brains are so much different than men's brains, And women, the way that they process things is they got to talk. They have to everything is connected to everything else.
We can do 10 things at once.
Guys, they have this, they want to talk about, if you're going to talk about something, it's this. Women, this is connected to that, is connected to that. And that's why we can remember everything that happened 20 years ago. We will bring, when the moment comes out, we're like, okay, no, that's all right. 20 years later, we're like, but remember when you said blah, blah, blah? And the guys be like, what? It's because that's how our brains, we're nurturers in nature. And so our brains are connected to, we need to remember all of these things. It's to benefit us as women. But how do you, when a man and a woman come together, now you have to blend a man who is like this and a woman who's like this, who has all these emotions and can multitask. I'm not saying men can't multitask, but I'm just saying with a woman, they're like, they can do this and that and think about this. And, you know, they can do all these things and they can think about more than one thing at a time. Now, I'm not trying to insult guys. Does it sound like I'm trying to insult you, Rick? He's laughing.
I'm sorry. No, that doesn't insult you. It's actually, you're not wrong when you say that. But you got to understand it like this: is you're supposed to be like that.
Right.
There is nothing wrong with the way you process information and being able to think about all these different things at the same time. And even when you talk about memory, well, what's the best way to remember things is if you can go back into the studies on how to improve your memory. What they tell you to do is associate your memory or that event or whatever you're trying to remember with an emotion.
Right.
So women, emotional people, happen to associate everything with emotions. Right. So what they do is they develop that part of your higher brain functions is memory. Is you develop that because you practice it without even knowing it, because you associate things with emotions. And we do that too, but we do it very specifically.
Right.
I'll explain this. A difference between us when we get in a situation or we're asked a question, we answer the question with the exact answer we intend to give. Now, for example, if you go shopping with a woman, you go in a store and woman tries on the outfit and she asks you, do you like it? Now, this is a very dangerous situation.
Very loaded question.
Now, see, when a woman asks you a question like that, it's usually a 10-part question for us.
A 10-part question.
Once we understand that, if a man tries on an outfit, he's shopping with another guy, and he says, do you like that? We simply say no. If we like it, we say yes. And when we mean yes. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I said, man, you better not answer that. Does this dress make me look fat?
And the thing about a woman is, if a woman asks you, do you like this? Does this look good on me? You have to think, because what she's asking is, I don't think she knows what she's asking.
It depends on the woman.
No, it depends on the woman. But it's such a loaded question. Because it's like, it has to do with her personality. And do you know, so it's
help us out there, people.
Because I don't even think women know why. It's just an emotional question. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? You know, because I think a guy that really knows that if they say, oh yeah, huh?
I think there is an answer.
Yeah.
Is generally what will happen if a woman tries on an outfit and she doesn't like it, then she's going to ask you to confirm that she doesn't like it.
Right.
Like,
He's smarter than
like
me.
this. Okay, Now this is what's going to happen. If she likes the outfit when she tries it on, she's not really going to ask you for your opinion. You'll look at the outfit in the mirror and say, "Oh, I like this," and then you just nod yes.
Yes, I like it.
It doesn't matter if you like it or not, and that's what we have to understand.
It
What
doesn't.
matters is she like it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So,
Because I think
you know,
it's connected to a woman who is a little insecure when they ask that question and you say, "Well, do these jeans make my behind look bigger?" Okay, that's a very little question because she might be insecure about her body. So if you say, well, a little bit. I mean,
Oh,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Because the truth is because the truth is you can't be honest with a woman who is very insecure about herself. You say, well, because like a guy says, yeah, no, it don't look good. If you tell a woman, no, that doesn't look good, then she's gonna take it. I mean,
Personally,
like
she don't look good.
I don't look good. Well, no, you don't look. Those jeans don't look good on you because they don't show the best part of you. And I think what it is, it's how the answer comes out. Like, no, they don't look good.
it's never a good idea to even answer that question.
That's right. Don't answer that. Run for your life.
I know that's right. Man better learn.
So it sounds to me like men. We can't hear you, Rick. Say that again.
Okay. I was going to say, if we answer that question and we get it wrong, then not respond at that time, but that conversation will resurface.
Yes, it will. That's when the memory comes in. But you didn't even like me in them jeans.
So, what do you say? What do you say about women who are insecure? What would a man say to a woman who is insecure? Because I think men look for women who are confident but not pushy, because they want to be that leader. And I know a lot of women with this thing in society is saying that all women are trying to be the leader, but I think most women want a man that's a man, what we call a man.
Man, it's a man.
He knows what he wants. He knows how to get there, or he does his best trying to get there.
Just don't tell me what to do.
Yes. There you go. So if you met a woman who was insecure about herself, what advice would you give her? What advice would a man give a woman?
I don't know if it's, you really don't want to attack the insecurity by identifying that she's insecure.
Right.
What you really want to do, you understand that she's insecure, and all you really need to do is constantly remind her in that area that you're a beautiful woman. Just keep constantly the repetition. You keep saying those things, and you get her to start saying those things, then eventually insecurity is only a paradigm that's formed in her subconscious mind. She's telling herself something without even saying it, and her self-image has created that insecurity. Mm-hmm. So the only way you really change that is you have to constantly remind yourself that you're a beautiful woman, or you tell her that you're a beautiful woman. You say those things. You say it early and often. You do that, and eventually she won't be insecure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just having positive reinforcements. I think that's why having a couple, being a part of somebody's life, you have to have somebody in your life who knows how to encourage you when you don't feel it for yourself, and they can see the best part of you, and that's why I think is has a long lasting relationship when you have somebody. We're both, like for women, I think, for guys, I believe that guys need to feel appreciated. Mm-hmm. I think men love to know that, yeah, you appreciate all the things that I do for you. And so as a woman, I don't think enough women actually appreciate, or maybe they don't understand how important it is to tell the person, look,
that would probably be it.
I truly appreciate the time that you took to do that, and the time that just the fact that you're paying that attention to me, I appreciate that. And I think that appreciation actually on both ends goes a long way with any relationship. I think that's the common thread with both men and women, mm-hmm. but I think it goes farther even with men.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
What do you think, Rick?
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think one of those things. The constant reminding, and you say something, we become what we think about. Like we have our self-image of ourselves, and
Right.
that's what usually tells us who we are, and that's who we ultimately become. So,
Right.
and that goes both ways. I think men need that just as much as the woman needs it,
Right.
just
Right.
in a different way. So, and we need to be different because that's the reason we're put here, to be different, so we can support each other.
Right. If you're both the same, something's going to get left undone.
Right.
That's right.
I think that men, I think that men are leaders. Biblically, God created a man to be the leader
I
in the
agree.
relationship. And as far as the leader, I think when you say leader, I think that a lot of men, this is only my opinion now, a lot of men kind of take that in the wrong direction.
Yeah, because positionally, as far as spiritual is concerned, you were meant to be the leader. But that's something you have to learn how to do too.
Right.
And some women are much better leaders than men.
Some
They
are.
have taken and prepared themselves for that, and they're able to lead. And so a woman in a leadership role looking for a man, the man might want her to come down to his level because he's the leader, quote. But I always say, if you meet somebody like that, tell him to come up. The women shouldn't have to come down. Tell the men to come up.
That's if the man is not, because some men are not, they're very insecure as well in a lot of things. And if there is a man who is insecure about who he is and whether he can do, and then you have that woman in your life and I can do this, I can do anything I set
Bring
my
home
mind
the
to.
bacon.
I can do all that.
Fry it up in the pan.
I feel in order, you have to build up that man to say, and instead of me coming down to the level that you are, I think that you need to come up. I need to help you come up and rise up to the level where you're supposed to be. Come up, not me come down to get you, but you, let me help you come up to where I am, if not higher, so that you can encourage me. Because it shouldn't really be that a woman is telling a man how to be the man.
And she can't, really. Go ahead, Rick.
I think we run into that because when we look at our society today, we have a lot of families that are broken.
Yes.
And then you have a woman raising a man. Now,
Yes.
she's going to do a tremendous job in teaching him everything she needs to teach him, but she cannot teach him how to be a man.
That's right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that you have to have that male figure in the house, because at one point he's going to have to teach that boy how to be a man.
Right.
There's nothing that you can do to put that in him. Only a man can teach that.
That's right.
So just like a woman has to be taught how to be a woman from her mother or
Right.
the people around her.
The women
And
around her.
a man can't teach her how to do that.
Right.
So what we're talking about right now is, in the big picture, the grand scope of things, is where our society has degenerated to, where we have all these broken situations, and we have a lot of women saying, "I don't need a man," and
Right.
how do we get that?
Yeah.
Everyone needs the other person.
Yeah.
That's right.
In a relationship, then that's just what you want to do. But we cannot teach young ladies to grow up saying we don't need a man. I think they're
Right.
just talking about the physical aspects of financially taking care of themselves. I'm not
Right.
talking about that. I'm talking about that emotional bond, that
You
thing
need
that's
that
supposed
too.
to happen. We do
And
need
that
each other.
spiritual leadership, you definitely need
You need
that.
each other.
And
Absolutely.
right, and most society doesn't have a real picture of how a family or a relationship should be. We are independent people.
Mm-hmm.
We have come to be independent, and what anybody thinks, that's supposed to be law. And society doesn't work like that. I admire how the military that you're in, Rick, I can only view it from the outside, but they take people from every aspect of life. They take young men and women from every aspect of life, from every emotional level, from every mental level, and they bring them together and they train them. And when they get done what they spit out is a man or a woman able to take care of themselves and take care of the things around them. So I think society could use more of that, that mindset.
Yes.
I always thought this was the ability of the church, but the church is made up of broken people.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't have all the resources that we need to build men and women to the level that they should be standing in.
I don't think it's not that we don't have the resources that we need. We are not using any of the resources that we have.
Right.
Because God has everything in place for the church to produce whole men, whole women, and families. Because that's how the church is set up.
Yes.
But if the ones who are the ones who are running things, if they don't recognize that they're broken, then how is a broken person going to help another person be whole?
No way
So
can do it. No way
so
can do it.
as a leader, that's where the leader has to step up and be able to help people, help families, help men to be men. Because I believe the church has a lot to do with that too. Help a man to be a man, especially with they don't have that male figure in their life, and help a woman to be a woman if they don't have that person in their life. Somebody needs to step in there and say, "Look, this is how you can do this."
So this would be like a call for men to step up and become the teachers that they are. There's a lot of wonderful men out there, but you're not saying anything. You need to say something. Do you agree, Rick?
Yeah, I do agree with that, because I think a lot of us have, a lot of knowledge that's just locked up and we don't share it. And there's people out there that want to hear those things or need to hear these things. They haven't heard them in that way, or it'll get them to start studying themselves. And where am I supposed to be? So I think a lot of us, we operate from not accurate information.
Right.
So
No. Right.
That's right.
So we operate from something that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. You know what? I like that.
Like that.
I'm liking it. You hear it and you like it.
That's right.
I do like that, because a lot of if you were raised on something that was a lie, a lot of times if you don't correct it, you'll just pass on the lie. You'll pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. But somewhere and somebody has to say, that's not right.
Right.
I need to change that. And that's where generational curses come.
Yeah.
That I need to change what's been happening in my family, so that I don't pass that on to my children and they don't pass it on to theirs. It has to stop somewhere. So yeah, you can take a lie and pass it on and pass it on, and you have that generational likeness.
So how would you encourage a young man that's been through brokenness and maybe are disqualifying themselves from sharing what they've learned because they only see their life in the brokenness that they come through? There's a lot of people been through bad family situations, and they automatically disqualify this. I don't have the money, or I don't have the talent, or I don't have this to be able to share anything with anybody.
Because that wasn't passed on to them.
Right.
They don't feel empowered.
Yeah, how do you encourage a young person to take what they've been given in life and maybe turn it around and be able to encourage somebody else?
Well, I think it starts with your self-image, and I know I keep mentioning that, because it's very important that you have an image of yourself doing these things. Because like some of us have went through some horrific things, a lot of people haven't went through things.
Right.
But we have to spend time learning ourselves, and then know that we can change our own self-image.
Right.
Because that ultimately become in your life is what you think about the most.
Right.
So when somebody is broken down like that, or they're struggling with life situations, it's because most of the time, or I'll go into 99% of the time, is because of the self-image they have of themselves.
Right.
They themselves as being inadequate, so they behave inadequately.
Yeah.
How do you take a young man that's been verbally abused by his very own father or the men in his life, and he comes out with a lot lacking, how do you encourage that person to disregard the words that have so hurt him all of his life? How do you help him get from that place to a new place?
Well, as soon as he gets in a place where he can understand who he is and what he is on this planet, because I believe, and I'm gonna go for my personal beliefs, that we are actually spiritual beings. That we use these bodies to experience this planet only. So everything that this body is, even your brain, is a result of your experiences in your life. And we control where it goes from here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think too, if people, were you done? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Your words are breaking up.
We control where we go from here. We can control that, but we don't. What we do is we react. We walk around and just react to what goes on around us instead of creating what situations we want to be in. We literally feed off of things that come into our lives, and we act on those things.
Right.
You know, it's that if you don't control your destiny, someone else will.
That's for sure.
That is so true.
That's for sure.
That's true.
That's as Christians, this is the whole, we think, the crux of why we turn people to embrace Jesus Christ doctrine, because we know that the first thing he does is change our mind about who we are,
Right.
and shows us the reality of how God created us. And so it can alter your whole life's destiny if you find out that you are okay, and the things that have happened to you have been outside sources. That doesn't mean that's who you are on the inside.
Right.
And God comes and says he loves us, and we're spiritual beings, and we should live that way.
That's why there's scripture that says that the truth will make you free. That scripture is so powerful in so many levels, because when you find the truth about who you really are, then your mind becomes free. You become free from all the words and all the lies that have been spoken over you, because, you know, like you said, all these negative things that you live through, you absorb all those words, and you can become those words. And then there's got to be a moment when you say enough is enough. That is not who I am, and you say I'm better than this. And it's getting around even people who talk better, because sometimes you're around people who are like cancer. And that's, you know, it's terrible to say, but there are some people who are close to you that's how they talk. They're cancerous. And in order to sometimes just to step up and start thinking about yourself differently, because people will always speak what they think that you are. They tell you who you are. But sometimes you have to get away from that negative influence to say, if I stay in here, I'm going to die in here. And so you remove yourself from, that's why some people, like, as people get richer and they get more money, they get around different people, because it's a different mindset. You have to get around people who have the mind to want to make money, because some people don't have that mind. So that's what it is. It's if you're around negativity and you stay around negativity, you think that you're going to encourage them by just, if I tell them, no, you got to, you put those encouraging words in there, that you're going to help them. But some people are set on thinking that way, and they're going to encourage you to want to think like that, because they're going to talk into your life. So you have to literally remove yourself from that atmosphere, the negative energy or the negative atmosphere, and put yourself into a charged, positive atmosphere to find the truth.
The ball is in your hands. So if
It's
you
in your
are
destiny.
If you're just now joining us today in our conversation, Karen and I are having a conversation with Master Sergeant Richard Lewis from the Air Force, and he has given his male perspective on our subject today. So please continue to join in our conversation. We're trying to answer all those questions that we have that come up between man and woman.
As Marjorie says, use the tools that God has given you. And it's
Amen.
true. There are a lot of really good tools that God has supplied people with, but unfortunately, we don't always use we don't use what he gives us because we think that we can do a lot of things on our own. There's a lot of things that God has created us to be and do that make us powerful because we're created in his image, and we can be powerful even without God. Power, it doesn't mean that because we're with God we have power. Yes, without him, power will come. But what kind of power are you seeking?
What is the
That's a
result
whole
of your
nother
power?
preach right there.
Yeah.
But what kind of power are you seeking? And so as Rick was saying, we are spiritual beings.
Yes.
God is spirit, and he says, I want to live in you, so that way that life can come out. But even on just a human nature basis, you have to seek to be free and seek to be positive, to change your life. If you're stuck in a rut, somewhere in there, you have to say, I'm not doing this anymore.
That's right.
I'm not doing it. This is obviously not working. Something's going to have to change. And that's when you have to take control out of whomever hands they're in. Because I guarantee they ain't in your hands. Because if they're in your hands, you would be in a different place.
You'd be in a different place.
And take it and put it in your hands. And say, I'm going to change my destiny by what I decide for myself.
Awesome. I think that's great. So, Rick, if you could say encouraging words to any of those young men that have joined us today, to encourage them to take a step up, what would you say to them today?
You know, I would start by saying a lot of us imagine we want to change our lives and the place we want to be at and the person we really want to be. But the problem is here. We generally don't have any idea of how to change. We look at the circumstances and say, well, how am I going to do that? Or I want more money. Well, how am I going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
First thing we got to do is stop trying to figure out how you're going to achieve something and decide you want to do it first.
First things
First
first.
thing we have to do is make a decision.
Yes.
Do you want to change? Because what we have to deal with right up front is our life is a composite of our habitual actions. Like the little decisions you make every day are habits.
Every
or
day.
habitual. So what you have to do is say, develop good habits. The little decisions you make from a day-to-day basis, you change those little habits into good habits, and then your life will steer in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
It has no other. So, start there. Because we start there, then you'll notice how your little habits affect the overall outcome of your life. Everything that you are right now is a composite of all your little habits.
That's true.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So true.
habits, and then you'll see different things. So, I would say that.
So it sounds to me like I know that you are very big in the gym, in physical exercise, and it sounds to me like that plan could work well for a person trying to get their physical body in shape.
Well, that's actually the plan for everything you want to do to succeed, to have success. You have to look at it. Like if a guy wants to develop powerful muscles, he can't go to the gym one day and lift some weights and then don't ever go back and then get that result.
What?
Well,
That's why I ain't got no muscle.
That is laughable, but that's what we do with our finances.
we do
Oh,
that with our money.
we do.
All right. Come on, tell it. Tell it. Tell it.
That's what we do with everything we want to achieve in our life. We think that if we go do one big thing, that's the thing that's going to make you rich. Or if I do this one good thing in the relationship, that's going to make the relationship better. When actuality is, you need to do a whole bunch of little good things in order to amount to a big thing.
Step by step.
That's what the physical fitness is about. It's a life and a culture change. You literally have to wake up in the morning, and that is on the menu. Train your body. You only got one. You can't go to the store and buy another one when this one breaks down. You have to
Man.
Every day.
And that goes across the spectrum. That goes with your relationships, your finances. I mean, the whole nine. There are little teeny habits that you must be in control of.
Yes.
Or you want to make more money, then you have to do all the little things it takes in order to make more money.
Right.
It's really that simple.
It's that simple.
And even if it's I believe as far as making money, even if you deciding I'm going to start saving some of it. You know, maybe you can't save a whole lot at one time, but to start to say I need to start saving some of it because, you know how hard it is to start saving money. People can't do it. I mean, they have a
Save
hard time.
$5 a week. Make a habit.
And the ancient Babylonians came up with a theory on how to create millionaires or very wealthy people centuries and centuries ago. And all they simply said is take 10% of every dollar you make and save it. That's all they said. And by using that strategy, coupled with they like to have every wealthy person generally has multiple sources of income instead of like how we're taught right now is just go to school, get a job,
Work hard.
work there to permit, raise a family, then you die. But generally, what we should be doing is finding out what are you really interested in, where your talents are.
Yes.
And we exploit those things. And it might not just be one thing.
Right?
Right.
So,
And that could be changed in our educational system too.
Right.
We turn our kids over to the educational system and they teach them how to work hard and make a few dollars, but they never teach them how to do any banking or anything like that. So we need to make...
what really teaches anybody about money in that aspect? We teach people right now in this education system how to fit into the system that exists.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're not teaching how to create the system. We're teaching them how to
Like.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
we-
right. So I love this conversation that we're having today.
I love it.
If you can grab hold to just one little thing today and start working on changing what you think about any particular area in your life that you want to change, if you just start with a little thing that you could get up early in the morning at the same time. If just start by getting out of bed, if that's your problem, because some people sleep too long.
One of our basic things we need to understand is that time cannot be managed. All we have is like this. What are you going to do with yours? What do you do with your time every day? What do you do with it? Like,
Yes.
Get up in the morning, you have a routine that you spend your time doing a certain thing that produces where you are right now. This individual, the situation you're in, the relationship you're in, what you do with your time literally create that product
Right.
or that result.
Yes.
So let's say you take 1 hour a week, or get up 1 hour earlier every day and see what that and do something productive. Now you just do one thing per day productive and find out what that's going to do. Because as soon as you see the results that come out of that 1 hour earlier,
Yes.
then you're going to start adding to that.
Yes.
It'll get you.
I like that.
I do too.
And that's true.
That's good.
I agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
Start with at least one change.
One change.
Something that's
one,
gonna change
One thought
toward-
change, because it is that thought process that we have that defeats us every time.
Your own thoughts.
Your own thoughts, what you think about yourself, as we said earlier, has a way of null and voiding everything positive that you want to do.
Yeah.
And your own thoughts are greater than what anybody else can say to you. It's what you think about yourself that causes you to be victorious or to be a failure. It's what you think about yourself. So change that one thing and get an adrenaline rush, because it works.
And I do like what Marjorie said. Marjorie said, you ask God to change you, because for some people it is almost impossible to make the changes.
Right.
So the Holy Spirit has a wonderful way of getting you into the right place to make the right changes.
Helping you.
But what he's doing is he's not changing you.
No, he's going to
He's
help you
helping
change
you change. So at the end of the day,
You still got to
you
get up.
still got to get up, because if you ask God to help you, and he will help you, nudge you to get you in the place that you need to be. But
And at
but
the
what
end of
he's
the
telling
day-
you need to get up. He's because see, as a Christian, as what we do is we think that God do this for me, do
He's
that.
gonna do
He's
it
just
all.
gonna drop those things from heaven, and things are gonna just happen. But that's not. He said, choose you this day who you will serve.
You gotta make
Which
a
means
choice.
you got to choose. You have to make the choices. That's why he put that scripture in there. Choose you this day who you will serve. Now, we think that's only talking about being a Christian. it's about being a Christian. It's about choosing God, but it's also, are you going to choose to be defeated today?
Right.
Are you going to choose
To be poor.
to be poor today? Are you going to choose to be negative today? Choose you this day.
Are you going to
Who are you
choose to have
serving?
a pot belly instead of exercising your body?
At the end of the day, he's telling you to choose. So we have to decide within ourselves that I am tired, I'm sick and tired of where I'm at, I'm going to make a move. And that's why a lot of people make moves because of experiences that they've been in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're so intense that I can't do this. I can't. To the point for some people have to be all the way down to they're literally have nothing. They're facing the ground. They're about to commit suicide. I know what this feels like. To be in a place where you just have nowhere else to go but up. Mm-hmm. And you choose to live.
Yes.
So I said, you know what? So you, at the end of the day, some people end up committing suicide because they decide, they chose they don't want to live. They don't want to get up. They don't feel like they have the power to get up. But guess what? We are bigger than we know. We are more than we know. And we're stronger than we know. Yeah. You're so strong. You're so powerful. But you got to change this first. You got to change how you think about you. Can I do it? I tell myself every day, I can do that. I can do anything. I can make it. If I want to make it, I'm going to make it. If I can do it, I'm going to do it. And sometimes you have to, the Bible talks about being violent, taking it by violent. Yeah, taking it by force. Sometimes you got to say, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care what anybody thinks, whether it's anybody or not. For me, that somebody is me. So I have to tell myself, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says, which my anybody is me. I'm doing this thing. And then I do it. Yes. So you do what it takes to do it.
There you go.
Right?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
So, I love this talk because what this talk is, it's us telling you that you are powerful and your choices are important. Just make them. Know that if you look
and you don't like where you are,
you don't like where you are, you can change. You can change your direction. And so, I love this conversation.
I was enjoying it from a male perspective.
Yeah.
Especially sharing with women what a man really sees in our relationships, how the male is thinking. That for me was kind of an eye-opener. And it was a blessing to hear that it's okay to be different, male and female. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would strengthen our relationships if we all come to know that we are different and that's how God created us. So that we could work together and fill in all the gaps.
Yes.
If we're both just alike, we both know how to dig a ditch, that's all we're fight over the same shovel. And we're going to, I like that one. That's right, we're going to take a long time to dig the ditch, but if somebody had another creative mind and a different tool, we could get the job done faster. Is that true?
Yeah.
So if you're having a problem in your relationship, male and female, or seeing how that works, just know that it's okay to be different from your man or from your woman. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. That's how we are created, and that's what makes the world go around.
This is one of those conversations. It's so broad.
We'd like to do this again.
I hope we get a chance to do it again. I'm sure we can talk about. the other aspects of. We can more talk about women too.
The other side of the coin.
Other side of the coin.
Yes.
But I hope that you guys can watch this again. And I know what we're going to try and do is we're going to try to get our own page on YouTube, and that way, if you you want to see it again, you can go back and watch this, or you can watch it on YouTube. So.
And we'll have better view of the guests that we're interviewing.
We will make sure.
Of course, our technology is wanting today, but we're sure there's somebody out there with tools, and they can help us with that.
Yeah, next time we'll just put Rick's picture up there, and he can talk.
That was a great idea.
Yeah?
We could have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought about it. Just
chime in, Rick.
we can get that fixed by the end of the night. The next
Okay.
time you come, I'll get your YouTube channel set up by the next time you're out there.
Awesome.
right.
Whatever videos you have, we can just download them now. And by the time you get on next week, I'll have a YouTube channel set up for you, and then you can just post everything there.
Awesome.
See, Rick is our business manager.
There we go. There we go. And our great male representative today, too. Has some wonderful views for you young men that have been watching. And you are in a relationship with a young lady. Take his advice and know that she's different from you, that it's okay, and that you're going to have to work with that. Don't be mad because she's different. Let it be okay.
Let it be okay.
Yep.
Okay. Anything before we go, Rick?
Say something, Rick.
Hey, you know what? I had a good time being on here. I look forward to getting back out here talking to you guys again. That was great.
That
I
was
don't get to
great.
see you that much, so I actually look forward to this show when I'm getting off work on Sunday night. I'm driving home watching this thing.
Awesome.
Oh, great.
Awesome. So we will have you back very soon.
We'll have you back soon.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Rick. We appreciate everything you said and all that you've learned. And anybody that needs to go to the gym in the Windsor area, please look Rick up, and he'll help you get your body in shape.
Yes.
Might come at a cost, but that'll be
You know
okay
what?
too. It'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it. So,
All right.
Okay.
Yes, Rick.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say you're your best investment. So invest in yourself.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
Yes,
right. Invest
yes.
in yourself. It's worth it.
Okay. Well, it's so nice talking with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed everything. God bless from the Way of Salvation Church in Seattle.
Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to view us once again. And tell your friends. Come join us.
God bless.
God
See you
bless.
guys.